I thought that we could head right into what's happening with the US trade talks in
Sure.
Canada. We have our fairly newly minted Prime Minister Mark Carney, who was supposed to be this like all-saving grace economist, brilliant banker, all of his Brookfield bro experience, and liberals were really sold on this idea that he was going to, swoop in and save the day. And I always ask them, well, he was the guy who's been whispering in the ear of Justin Trudeau for the last few years. So
Right.
how is it going to change? And now we realize that it's really not. And things have only continued to deteriorate under his leadership, quote unquote. But we have a crumbling trade. Trade talks have essentially crumbled, and that's
Yep.
largely thanks to Carney's ineptitude, but also the meddling of Ontario Premier Doug Ford with
Yep.
his ridiculous $75 million ad campaign that skewed and selectively edited a former President Ronald Reagan's trade talk speech. I think it was from
Yeah.
1987. Anyway, with really threatening language, like Premier Ford's threatened to cut off power to the United States, and he's just being ridiculous, but to be expected from the progressive conservatives here in Ontario. So now we have this clip to share with you that Trump is signaling that he could exit from USMCA, that's the US, Mexico, Canada trade
This is
agreement,
so bad. This is so bad.
entirely. Just like we're not doing it anymore. It's up for renegotiation anyway, early next year, I believe.
Yeah.
But he could exit entirely from it. Let's listen to this.
An ongoing thing. It expires in about a year, and we'll either let it expire or we'll maybe work out another deal with Mexico and Canada. But look, Mexico and Canada have taken advantage of the United States, like just about every other country.
Trump's framing is off. CUSMA does not expire in a year, but the trade agreement between Canada, the U.S., and Mexico will be reviewed and likely revised starting next June. In Washington, behind closed doors, high-stakes consultation hearings are now underway. Industry, business leaders, and experts telling the Trump administration what they think about the deal, which is also known here as USMCA.
Just
Yeah. So if he wants to disavow a trade agreement with Canada and Mexico, which I would say at this point, not that I'm for that, but it's very much warranted. He's been threatening and sounding the alarm over the flow of contraband,
Yep.
fentanyl, the human trafficking, the porous borders. Mexico has taken a much stronger stance to curb and get this under control than Canada has. We elected Kevin Boisseau as our fentanyl czar,
I
and
keep forgetting his name because I never
I
hear anything about him.
well, all I keep hearing is that they're having conversations, and then I think he came out of the woodwork a few months ago, and maybe not even a few months, 6 weeks or so ago, at a talk in Toronto, where he said that, oh yeah, it's a lot worse than I could have thought. Like, yeah, we've been saying this for the better part of 2 years now, at least. Um, and so Canada's really not done much to quell these concerns, and they only continue to become heightened and exacerbated. I mean, even today we have another piece, I believe it was from the Globe and Mail. I'm just going to try to pull it up, where our immigration minister, who's the seventh one in as many years, by the way, which is so unfortunate for
Yep.
such a massive portfolio of this magnitude. But Lena Diab she just warns foreign nationals not to abuse our asylum system
Oh, okay.
as the US and the UK tighten their rules. And it's like, yeah, those foreign nationals, 700, I think, of them, which are foreign criminals who have come into this
Yeah.
country that we've just lost track of. Um, where do you think that they perhaps end up? Because our border with the United States is one of the longest land borders in the world and completely unmaintained in many various places. Alexa Lavoie has done amazing reporting at the border itself, showing just how vast it is, how rural it is, and how easy it is to have it be a fluid back and forth thing. So when Canada's not taking any reasonable steps or tangible action to curb this, despite all this flowery language and these smoke and mirror appointments of a fentanyl czar, of course, trade talks are going to continue to deteriorate when you have Premier Doug Ford aggressively heightening tensions and doing things to just provoke and poke the bear. I'm not surprised that Donald Trump is saying, you know what, we might just leave the trade deal altogether. Forget it.
There are 857 non-Canadians in federal prisons, and a lot of them are being released from provincial institutions. And then the CBSA is rearresting them immediately. And we're not doing anything about this. I think I wrote up so much stuff this morning. I think 10,000 deportation orders where they're just like, we're giving up. And they routinely give up on these after they go over like a year or 2 years. They just say, well, what do you want us to do about it? I don't know. Grab them, get them out of here.
Uphold your mandate.
I think, I forget what news clip that we had taken that from, but whoever it was that fact checked the president when he said in about a year, this comes up for renewal or a review. It's July 1st, 2026, but they're not going to leave it down to the wire. They're going to start probably talking about it right away. And it feels like it's actually a little bit too late to even begin talking about it. That July 1st, 2026, that's 6 months away.
Mm-hmm.
That's
there
scary.
should be a new deal almost solidified ahead of the expiration of the old deal, because that's how things smoothly transition and should flow seamlessly and easily.
Yeah,
but we can't, how dare we expect that out of the Canadian government these days? And then we also have this headline from, my computer's starting to
Bloomberg.
Here. Yes.
Bloomberg, Europe says Canada must pay 10 million euros to join the EU defense deal. The European Union says Canada will need to pay 10 million euros, the equivalent of $16 million Canadian, to join their cute little club. It's to join a defense procurement agreement with the continent. I have no idea why we're doing this. Why?
Yeah, and well, Carney's aligned us. He said he identifies as European first and foremost, and then he said that he's been out there trying to align us more with the European Union rather than our largest previous trade partner and land mass ally, the United States, because Donald Trump's been sounding the alarm on all of the things that are wrong in Canada right now because the Liberals won't listen to actual Canadians and independent media who have been reporting on these issues for the better part of, several years, but especially the last few. And so as a result, Carney's trying to align us more with Europe and the European Union.
This is crazy.
And I'm just trying to look up, though, how much was it going to cost Canada to be part of the United States, essentially their Iron Dome? Remember?
I think it was a couple billion. But anyways, this first is just an installment payment. This is like hey, you get to join our club payment that we're making. So it's the $245 billion Security Action for Europe program, or SAFE. It's part of the Rearm Europe initiative, of course, to make the continent less reliant on American defense technology and funding. When Defense Minister David McGuinty, when he was asked how much Canada would need to pay, he told reporters on Parliament Hill, "We'll have more to say about that in due course." Canada will have to start to pay a one-off contribution of 10 million to the EU budget, and then it'll be reassessed going forward. So this is like committing us to continuing to pay for this just because we've decided to be anti-American.
Right.
Great.
And maybe there's hope to smooth the waters, because Carney is set to meet Trump tomorrow in Washington. According to the Prime Minister's office, they're going to have a brief meeting on Friday.
I'm already embarrassed.
Yeah, we'll see. And also that will include Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, who, obviously we're all an integral part of the USMCA. And so maybe after this announcement that Trump may just exit it entirely, they're trying to do some damage control now. But they'll be, it's so laughable. It's breads and circuses because they'll be at the FIFA Cup draw on Friday. And so it's, I guess, a convenient opportunity
how
for
European
the
of us.
leaders. Yeah.
How very, very European.
To convene. And so we'll see, because I think, so this is the first time that Carney and Trump have spoken since Doug Ford lit a match and dumpster fired the trade talks with his ridiculous propaganda ad that was funded entirely by Ontario taxpayers to the tune of $75 million.
Do you know what's funny? I was thinking the other day, Donald Trump probably would have loved Rob Ford. And that's what makes me sad when I think about it. I think he probably really would have enjoyed Rob.
That's such a good point. Yeah. Bring back Rob Ford. Rest in peace.